You know, as you grow up, some memories from your childhood start to become more and more obscure. Some memories are vague, and sometimes you can't be sure if some of them were just fever dreams or things that actually happened. Well, this is a similar case. When I was a child, I always used to go to my grandparents' house with my mom during summer. They had quite a big garden in a field where they grew corn and grapes. I used to play with sticks and mud in the garden, pretending the sticks were swords and all that stuff that kids do when they don't have video games or internet. I was minding my own business when I suddenly got the urge to take a piss. Instead of going to the toilet, I decided to take the piss in the garden since no one was watching me. I go to a bush near the entrance in the cellar and I start doing my job, and I noticed before that the door of the old cellar was open. But I was pretty sure no one was inside, since it was complete silence in there. Or I thought it was. After I finish, I hear a woman saying,
"Do you know who you mess with?"
I thought it was my mom, but she was nowhere in the garden. But then I realized that the voice came from the cellar. I decided to look inside it, only to see darkness at the end of the stairs. Suddenly, I start to hear liquid pouring on the floor like someone was spilling a cup of water. I was still looking in the dark, trying to see the source of the voice, and I finally saw it. From the darkness, a figure appeared at the end of the stairs. A humanoid figure, but something wasn't right. It looked like a woman at first, but as I started to observe more of her features, I got absolutely horrified. She was looking like a very old and skinny woman who was completely naked, with legs and arms all covered with blue veins, lots of belly skin and saggy breasts that were just hanging on her thin figure, and her whole chest, neck, and hands were covered in blood. Her face was mostly covered in gray, wet hair, but I was still able to take a glimpse at her face. Her face was covered with lots of wrinkles, a very deformed nose. Her eyes were impossible to see from the dark, and the reason why I was hearing liquid pouring on the ground was because her mouth was mutilated in the worst way possible. No teeth, no lips, just a jaw barely holding in, with lots of blood and saliva pouring from it. Everything lasted just 4 seconds, but what I saw was enough for me to run away as fast as possible from that garden. I run to the entrance of the house where my mom was carrying some blankets inside. She looks at me and asks,
"Is there something wrong? You look scared."
For some reason I simply answer her, Nothing at all."
"Okay, well, get ready for lunch."
And so she goes inside, not bothering to ask me any more questions. The weird thing is, I don't remember anything from what happened afterwards. After that, everything just goes blurry. Was that just some nightmare? Was I just seeing and hearing stuff because I was afraid of the dark? Maybe, but then it's creepy how the mind of a kid who is like 5 to 7 years old can create such realistic depictions of human body mutilation and gore without ever being exposed to such things to start with.